Good avond, good evening, good evening. And today we are here together. I'm here with my sister, Steph.
Yes,
Steph, sister, how are you doing?
I am okay, not too bad. And you?
Not too bad. Why is your energy so low?
Hmm, we are just managing life.
Managing life. Okay,
Yes.
okay. No, great, great.
And
So,
you? Are you all right?
yes, I'm all right. I think nowadays I noticed that in Europe we have nothing to complain. Like people are striking here for this and that and whatnot, and is it Israel or Palestina and for what?
Mm,
But as for us, it's like if you want, you can still be minding your own business.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I try not to complain. So I'm happy on this Sabbath day that we are here. This world is up in smoke, but you and I, we're just chilling here in the Netherlands. Geen stress. Dus yeah, man. Okay. Well, I'm looking at the amount of viewers that we have today. We're at this point, the number is too low.
They
So
will come
before
to
we
tune in.
No, before we go into the subject, I want to encourage everybody share the link. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Like this video. We're gonna talk about something very interesting. You can see it below. Okay, chant down Babylon. Eh? Some of us we are singing it in the reggae music. Eh? Some of our Rasta brothers and sisters have been singing it for days. I know
Yeah.
my cousins have been. So share and subscribe. And yeah, we're gonna talk about Sundown Babylon. I don't know if people watched our poll that was sent out. Um, but before we dive all deep, deep, deep into the subject, just from a verse point of view, Sister Steph, when you saw this subject, what were you thinking? Not even like the subject, but just the feeling. What feeling did you get when you saw the subject?
Feeling. Well, I cannot really remember the feeling I got, but I got many thoughts for sure. Thoughts
Okay.
like things will fall apart.
Hmm.
Um, a whole different era. Um, so more changes, and also that's something that will be destroyed. Like what we are seeing now, what we are experiencing now, will not remain forever. So
Yeah.
that is what came in mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay. Okay. Well, I was asking that question because once I saw it, I was like, this brings me back to the days when I saw these ministers doing some aggressive
yeah,
prayers, but also
yeah.
some aggressive singing. Yes. So
Singing.
some of you might not know online. Some of you might think we're always serious and whatnot, but these ministers of ours, they can sing. You don't know these secrets. I'm giving you some insights today. Yeah. But,
You're
but
exposing them.
yes, I'm exposing them today. And we used to sing songs like soon and very soon we are going to see the king. Huh? And they will be singing Chandam Babylon, we are going to see the king. Yes, yes, because people are going through things. Sometimes you need to sing it off. So
Exactly.
nay man. Um we're gonna talk about the subject Chandam Babylon, Day of Yah. This is the part two. Did you see the part one where
Uh,
Brother Shalom, was it Brother Shalom and Sister Brit?
yes,
I,
yes, yes. I remember. Yes, yes. You did the first part.
yeah, it was
Very
beautiful.
interactive. Yes,
Yeah,
and very like everything that you experience on a day to day life. Nothing complex, but for me, it brought a lot of awareness also, and I think and I hope also that the viewers who were online and following the conversation, that they also had enough things to think about.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that.
Yeah, and then the ministers on that Sabbath, they actually explained, the day of Yah. And I think for everybody, it's something good to be aware of. Like, okay, we're going towards the end of days. I think in scripture it's mentioned as well. And people have been waiting for so long, like, okay, when is it coming? But the only thing we know that with every minute we're coming closer, right,
Yeah,
to that end. And
yeah.
even if it's not in your day, eventually we're all going to stand before Yah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then your day of judgment is going to be there. And what will that day look like, right? So that is, I think, that is the most important message in there. So yeah, I think, I had something that I wanted to talk about. If you have a question, feel free to pitch in,
Mm-hmm.
but also, like, the people online, if you have a comment or whatnot, feel free to throw it in there. We will try to read and we will try to respond during the show. Um, but when I think about Chandam Babylon, I
Mm-hmm.
basically think about a story. I hope I can share it later with you, a picture of it.
A
But
story.
basically, yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh.
But basically, it does make me think about the story of Noah.
Oh,
And is it Noah?
interesting.
No,
And well, that's a different, totally different angle. But I
no, no,
think
no, no, no. I mean,
Nature.
like, I
Yes.
mean this. Yes, the Tower
Yeah.
of Babylon,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
And actually, like, we in scripture, so many times you see stories about angels and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that in the story of the Tower of Babylon, people were rebelling against Yah,
Mm-hmm.
actually thinking that they could outsmart him, or, you know, unity is a strong thing. And even in the days that we're living in right now, people are like actually mocking Yah. You can see it in movies, all kinds of things. There was even a series. I'm not going to say which series because I don't want to inspire
Promote
people to
anything.
go
Yeah.
and check more movies
Yeah.
and whatnot. But I saw one where they were basically explaining to people that if there's, like, an entity, even if it looks like human, even if it looks like human, and it comes from the sky or whatever, you should basically try and shoot it down.
Mm.
Right? And for me, it was like, so they're actually preparing people to, if the Messiah would be coming back, like in scriptures mentioned that
Mm.
how he went up, he will come back. That basically this whole system that we're living in now would try to shoot it down. They're actually against, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
here we see in that story of Tower of Babylon,
Yeah.
they basically, the heavens said, "Wait a minute, we're not gonna allow this," and they made sure that it was brought down. This
Mm-hmm.
kingdom was being brought down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we're in this same phase right now, in this
Yeah.
time era, where the technology is going crazy, AI is going crazy. We don't even know which kind of entities are involved in AI and all these things. There's no break on the technology. We don't know which portals will be opened, which
Mm-hmm.
dimensions people will be
Yeah.
trying to open, and all these kind of
Yeah.
crazy things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that to the forefront. And um, I'm
Because
curious,
this was
sisters. Yeah, tell me.
in the time of Nimrod, right? The
Yeah,
one who
yeah,
inspired this whole concept of building this tower.
yeah.
And one thing that also came in mind when I looked at this picture and also thought about the story is that what really stood out is like the rebellion part. That
Mm,
this is something that they wanted to do as a people. They wanted to aim high. They wanted to also like directly go against the will of the Most High.
yeah,
And for me also, like a tower, it really symbolizes something like um doing what you want, so like selfish, um
Yeah.
your own ideologies, presenting yourself as a god, to be worshipped. So that is actually something that we
Yeah.
also see in
Yeah,
this time.
man.
Everything is about pleasure. There are laws, but they're living like there are no laws and no
Yeah.
principle. So
Yeah.
everything is in total confusion, in total chaos. Um, yeah, like in all these times, especially when you look at the Bible, in different eras, you see the same thing happening over and over again. In this time also where we are living in, even in the future times also, it will even multiply. So
Yeah.
yeah, more
But
immoralities, more lawlessness, all crazy stuff.
that's scary, right? Because
Yeah.
I remember that was the first thing that really triggered me during the COVID period.
Hmm.
I was like, so my government and other people actually think that it's okay to decide for me what time I'm allowed to be outside.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was kind of crazy. Like, okay, I know that the government is there to help us understand society, understand health benefits between two different choices,
Hmm.
inform us about new technology or whatever. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I still expect that I have full autonomy of my own religion, my own body, my own everything.
Hmm.
And
No,
and then suddenly you realize, like, oh, wait a minute, these people are like controlling, consciously
exactly.
controlling.
Controlling. Yeah, 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 yeah,
They
yeah.
decide if I can fly or not. They decide if I can go to the shop or not. They
Hmm.
decide even if you can go outside to play. They decide if you can go to school or not.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was
How
like,
many items you
whoa.
can buy in the store? Like there
Yeah.
was like a restriction. You can only buy like 2 bottles of, let's say, oil.
Yeah.
You cannot
Yeah,
take a lot of things to, to have a storage at home.
yeah, but okay, some people were going
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
but it did show to me like, okay, there is a system in place that whenever they feel like it, they can
Hmm.
basically decide for us. And at the same time, I know that there were some big people, politicians, etc., that were caught having parties and whatnot. So
Hmm.
those rules, they are able to enforce it without even obeying those rules themselves.
Yeah.
And for me, that was quite interesting. I was listening to a podcast as well where somebody was mentioning the the ability of rich people. Just
Hmm.
imagine you're a billionaire, right? If you're a billionaire, I feel like, and I know, like in at school, etc. We always looked at towers and we were like, the richest people, whatnot, are at the pinnacle, right? They're at the top of the pyramid or whatnot.
Hmm. Yeah.
Somebody was actually like, these, if you're a billionaire or whatnot, you make more money than
Hmm.
most people like combined. You could basically take 10,000 people, 20,000, 100,000 people, take all their income, gather it together, and still you would, in some cases, you would still earn more than them.
Yeah. True.
And that is where you see in a lot of them that they develop a certain complex. Like, you know what? We can experiment on these people because they're dumb. Like I know during COVID they were talking. Was it COVID? Yeah. Like, oh, we should test this on the Africans because then we can see if it works well or not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so this system, in my opinion, it's totally broken. I think scripture backs it up as well,
Hmm.
where it speaks
What do
about
you what do you mean with totally broken?
For me, it doesn't. It doesn't promote the values
Mm-hmm.
that are to the benefit of the human species. And that sounds very maybe technical, but
Mm-hmm.
if you look, I'm not looking at it from an even moral point of view, which is another thing as well.
Yeah.
But if you just look about the social agenda that is being pushed, for instance, if you have, if you look at the social agenda, divorce is increasing,
Mm-hmm.
the birth of children is decreasing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
mental health is decreasing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Quality of food is decreasing.
Yeah,
Yes.
quality of food, but also dependency on the government is increasing. There's an increase in the difference between the poor and the rich.
Yeah. Especially the poor.
So for me, it's like we're spending money and we're inventing things, but when we look at the things that matter the most,
Mm-hmm.
it's we're not improving on it.
No.
So it's
No.
like, why was I more happy like when I was younger and the only thing kids thought about was playing outside and being with their friends and whatnot. And I sometimes feel sad looking at kids that are at home all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand. And the things that you just mentioned, it's like we are more focused on the materialistic things.
Yeah,
Like you always have to achieve more, you have to gain more. It should be tangible. You should see the figures go higher, like it should increase.
yeah,
But then if you shift it to the other part, because that is actually that they don't want us to um, invest in, like the personal development, your
yeah,
soul, like your inner
yeah,
man,
yeah,
spirituality, because that is something that if you really invest your time, your energy more in it, then you will realize that the things that are blurry or unclear, you will start to see. And also,
yeah,
it gives you the idea that, oh, wait a minute, what's going on? And then you start asking questions, you start to
yeah,
think
precies.
critical. But because of the things that we have, it makes us blindfolded people, um, and easy to control. So when you have to go to the
Easy.
left, the government and the system wants us to go to the left, then we all run to the left. Meanwhile, something is going on at the other side.
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
I think also it's very visible in people are nowadays even scared to share their opinions on certain subjects,
Yeah.
which for
Yeah.
me kind of strange. Like previously, people would shut their mouths not because they were not allowed to speak about certain things, but because it was culture, right? Like certain
Mm-hmm.
you leave private. But you
Yeah.
see now everything that is supposed to be private, like even having intercourse or whatnot, or people that are married and going through things, everything is on social media. It's
Yeah.
out there. Anything that is supposed to be private is out there.
Yeah.
And actually conversations that are important to have, whatnot, the way people think, philosophies that should be encouraged or discouraged, people are not even talking about it anymore. So
No.
we don't know what is going through people their minds, and basically they're like ticking bombs, but you
Yeah.
don't know who's going to explode. I think that is one of the reasons, definitely, why in countries like, for instance, America, sorry, you have increase in like shootings and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
because people their mental health and people their like environment and having like surrounding that
Yeah.
cares, right, that
Yeah.
cares about your opinion, that cares about what is happening within your mind, that cares about the emotions that you have, and actually cares enough to correct you,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
that is, I think, something that people don't want, because if you are allowed to share your opinion or whatever it may be, then also there is a new discussion to be had. Sorry, something is in my eye.
Mm,
There's a new discussion to be had is, are you right or are you wrong? But in this system, it doesn't seem like there's a right and a wrong. Sorry.
mm,
Um. So yeah, I'm really convinced this system is broken. I don't know what's happening.
mhm, mhm.
But I definitely know that it is broken, and so yeah, I think we agree on that. Um, and if the people at home have other opinion, please let me know if you think the world is as good as it is, and we
Mhm.
should go ahead in this trajectory.
But
Uh,
I'm not sure, yeah, because I was taking another perspective as well. Sorry to interrupt you.
okay,
Because if I say that the system is broken, yeah,
yeah,
for me, it also seems like everything is over, like the time and like yeah, the phase or the season is over. But that is not the case.
mhm,
Because we don't know like when all this like this time will end, and then the new era that we are going to enter in, the new king that we're going to have here on earth established, um it's not really near. So if you say the system is broken, yeah, to my understanding, it's like the time has stopped or so. That is
Ah,
what I
I
what
understand what you're saying.
I
Okay.
state.
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, no. So in I understand what you're saying. Like, okay, it's broken, and so basically it has come to its end,
Yeah,
right? And then
yeah,
yeah. So
but
no,
there's
because
no
I
end
think
yet.
exactly,
Mhm,
exactly. No, because we know that scripture tells us that like when that end comes, that is the time that the Messiah
mhm,
should come.
mhm.
And indeed there are a few things that still need to manifest before we can say, okay, the time is now. And I'm honest, if that time would be here, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Where?
So I would be packing my bags, going to Africa. So people that know me, if you're not preparing at all, then now
Yeah.
you know I'm leaving when the time comes. But
Honestly, nobody is preparing. Nobody. We have all
yeah,
been saying, you and I, we are all guilty. We are saying that we have to prepare. We
yeah.
claim to have the mindset to have that preparation, but we have nothing. We have
Hey,
no
don't
plan.
say nothing.
We have no
Hey,
skills. We have no skills.
yeah, okay,
Mm.
okay.
Everything that we are doing is really like based on as if we are going to live here on earth forever.
Yeah, that is true.
The way
That
we
is
are establishing businesses, it doesn't showcase that we are preparing for the end.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay, okay. I understand, but in a way, I think as well, like first of all, I think a lot of people are actually they're trying to find that balance,
Yeah.
between okay, how much of your time should you invest in that which is spiritual, that which influences your soul, and I do think
Hmm.
a lot of people in this time are guilty of not doing enough,
True. True.
including myself, definitely. Um, but I also think that we don't do enough physical preparation for what might lay ahead. One of my brothers actually sent me a message today that people might get drafted for for the army, and we are in the Netherlands. We never think about the army drafting anything.
No. No.
One time I went with a bicycle past one of the army bases. The door just opened. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't take it too seriously. But now news is coming out that people might
Yeah.
get drafted. So people are sweating, including myself. So I think that like a physical preparation for what might lay ahead, also even like with when COVID hit,
Yeah.
I noticed like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't have enough food in my house. I don't have anything to defend myself and my family.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna expound on what I planned. Like, okay, from now I need to buy some,
Yeah.
self
Yeah.
defense stuffs. But even like simple things, like where's the flashlight in your house? So
Yeah.
people, they don't have flashlight. They
Yeah.
they have phone. If the battery dies, they don't have light. Yeah, it's like
so so
so
actually
so I,
we didn't take any lesson from that time
yeah.
at all. At all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it's crazy, but I think knowing and seeing where we're going, um, you know, even I think it's Matthew chapter 24 speaking about like in the days of Noah. I
Mm-hmm.
think there are signs like okay, you need to know when you're living in those times where you need to be preparing for your end, but also for the end of times. You need to be preparing, knowing that you are in a surrounding
Mm-hmm.
that is not beneficial to your future, right? And one of those things was like the family structure breaking down, like a man not having what they call the natural use, yeah, for his
Yeah.
wife or for a
Mm-hmm.
woman. You see that, okay, on out of those relationships children cannot be born, so it's like humanity is not fruitful anymore, so
Mm-hmm.
it's a clear error, like obviously.
So, yeah.
I'm not going in anybody's business, but as for the children of Yah, for us it's a sign that
Mm-hmm.
hey, awaken and prepare yourself,
Mm-hmm.
build your ark, which is obey Elohim in all your ways, even if it seems strange to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the phase that we should be in now. And that brings us to my next point,
Yeah.
because I think that when you know that, okay, Elohim is going to chant down Babylon, as
Yes.
we should be chanting down Babylon, because this system must be broken, um, we should actually realize that it means that there is a recompense, there is a punishment coming ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about that actually, like, okay, somebody like Noah, for instance, sitting in the ark, hearing thousands of people dying, screaming, shouting,
Yeah. Yeah.
Sodom and Gomorrah, like they were slicing, the angels are probably slicing people, or with I don't know how Elohim was killing that with fire or brimstones. I don't, but people are dying.
Yeah. It's
And
really.
I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, that Elohim that we serve, which everybody says he's so loving and he's so kind. I just love him and he's love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, is that God, or is that El? Is that Yahuwah? Is Elohim? Is he really a Elohim that will punish people harshly? Is it fair? Is it honest? So,
He will.
your opinion on this?
Like, to be plain and honest, and also what I really believe,
Mm,
because he is the one who will judge. Of course, he has established laws. They are not hidden somewhere. It is like really plain if you really want to bring it near you. So if that all is out there for our knowledge to understand and to have certain basic also, then why won't it be fair if he will punish you if you're not obeying his ways? um I cannot imagine only to have parents.
yeah,
My father and mother, they raised me up. They really try to impart the fundamental things in me, and they
yeah.
will always be sweet to me.
Ish.
Always nice. If I did something wrong, if I stole something from them, if I
They
even
were still sweet.
disrespect them,
Nothing
cuss
is
them
sold.
out, they will still be sweet. Like, oh, Steph,
Oh,
come here, let me
hey,
hug you. I
oh,
cannot
stop it.
imagine
No,
because
no, no. I call cap. This is not.
no, no, no.
Wow.
And even those nations, like the unbelieving people, they
Yeah,
have like those structures, those principles that correction is needed, punishment is needed. This is
yeah,
something
yeah,
that
yeah.
we learn in schools. We we promote these things for the youngsters to know that this is right and this is wrong.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, then you will get punished. So
Yeah.
also our Most High, our Father in heaven, Elohim, he will punish us and punish
Mm.
those who are not listening to him. He has not walked in his ways. That's it.
Mm.
That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I so let me understand correctly, okay? Because you said your parents were always sweet.
No,
Because
of course not.
oh,
I
okay,
was
okay.
just
I was
giving
just
an
checking
example. Like,
because this
what
sister
if?
I said
No,
she shouldn't lie on this
no,
Sabbath day
no, no, no.
Africans that are always sweet. I don't
No,
believe
no,
that.
no way, no way, no way,
Okay,
no way.
okay,
I was just
okay,
giving an
okay,
example to
okay.
make it a little bit clear, a clear
Yeah,
picture, like how we have experienced it here in the flesh. This is not something that is all spiritual and you cannot see. It
yeah.
is something really physical.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah. No, okay. Because I think that as well. Like punishment is part of being like nurtured, right? And I think
Mhm,
a lot of people they struggle with the thought that Elohim that is loving and kind and has everything, he's able to do everything, that he would punish people
mhm,
if he was able to change us, or if he
mhm,
was
mhm.
able, or blah blah. But I think it's just a part of training, right?
Yes.
You try to direct,
Mhm,
and some children, even though you try to steer them through the right direction, they still decide to do evil.
yeah. Yeah.
And that is, I think that is like having a free will. But you still being punished and harshly,
Mhm,
Elohim still deciding that, you know what, this thing that I have built, I'm going to break it as well,
mhm,
right? Like I know multiple stories of Surinamese people that are like, okay, my child misbehaves, and you think you can sit under my roof and behave like this be- because you are kissing boys in the room and
yeah.
you are doing this, the parents they will just remove the door, and the child won't have a door anymore. And then, what happened to my door? What is this? And the parents will say, I bought this house. The door is
Mhm,
mine.
yeah.
When you want your door back, you can come and ask me.
Mhm.
And I also think in that same way, sometimes we on earth we think we feel privileged to think that everything on earth it's a right.
And the fact that we are alive, that is even a gift. Like
Yeah,
Elohim could also decide on the spot that the person who keeps on sinning and disobeying him, he could also decide to like kill the person, end the
yeah,
person's life. But he
yeah.
gives a chance, yeah, just because he can.
Okay, okay, but then there comes like the chant down part of this, right? Okay,
Yeah.
because I'm just going to take it like one step further.
Uh,
The chant down for me actually sounds like it brings me back to the story of Moses, where the hardship of Israel, it turned into a cry to Elohim to save his people,
mm-hmm,
right? And now we're living in this crazy time,
mm-hmm.
and I'm reading chant down Babylon. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking somebody needs to be chanting. Okay, I believe that the angels will be the first one to chant that
Yeah.
these humans they are crazy.
Yeah.
So just finish it. It's
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
But I also think like our ancestors, even but I also think like the righteous, they will be like Elohim. This is too much.
Mm-hmm.
This this madness. So my
Because
question,
it is, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
so my
I will
question is
allow
gonna
you to
be
land. I will allow you to land.
also to the viewers at home.
Uh-huh.
Are you chanting Babylon down? Or you want Babylon to carry on for just a bit? Because I know when I was younger, I was like, Elohim, please let it continue just a longer. I need to get a wife. And then you can destroy this country. I, I need kids, and then you can
That's a good
destroy
one.
this country. Yeah.
That's a good one. Very good one. Am I chanting Babylon down myself in
Yeah.
the position
Now,
that
now,
I am
in Holland.
standing? Ooh. To be honest, I really try. I really
Yeah.
try. It's not fully 100% that I'm chanting or making a difference. Let me bring it into the normal understanding words. I'm not
Yeah.
always shining my light or making the right decisions. Otherwise, yeah, I will be a perfect person. So when it comes to my working space, when it comes to interacting or engaging with my family, I still see things that, yeah, some way, somehow you are a little bit compromising, or better to say, I keep quiet. I don't always speak out.
Mm.
I don't always like pinpoint, like, "Oh, okay, maybe you shouldn't eat this food," because I am not eating it.
Yeah.
Making them, um, no, not making them, trying to trigger their mind, like, okay, why shouldn't I eat this? Why is it not healthy
This
for
is.
me? Or why should
Yeah.
I not portray myself in this way? So most of the time, I find myself being silent because, yeah,
Yeah.
it is comfortable for me.
Yeah. Because I think that is the, I would say, harder part of this all. When you like when you are chilling and enjoying this Babylon system,
Yeah.
you sometimes feel like I'm in this world, but not from this world.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm in this world, so I want to enjoy this world,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And not feel like left out or not feel like the judgmental person, that
Yeah.
you go to your work and everything is bad, and you go there and you don't involve yourself in anything. But um, I think that is where the challenge comes for believers. Like, okay, we do need to keep a difference between us and the world. And there are certain things in this world that we should stand against.
Yeah.
And we should be the voice and the prayer to Elohim to tell him that Elohim, these things that are taking place, it needs to end.
Mm-hmm.
Interceding for things that we see in our family, at our working places, at places, churches, at gatherings, whatnot, that we should be like, okay, it's this craziness,
Mm.
Elohim, finish it. So yeah, I think that is for me at least. Yeah, something that we kind of need to look into. And you mentioned something as well earlier,
Mm-hmm.
um, about Babylon standing for rebellion and going against Elohim. Like,
Yeah.
could you explain further?
Yeah. Because I mentioned, I think, it earlier a little bit, that this whole system, because actually what we have seen in the time of Babel in the Bible, we can see it really also in this time, that um, as things are changing and developing from time to times, um, most of things are not in order anymore. For
Yeah,
example, if you look at the dressing part, the way people are dressing nowadays, they
mm,
really don't care like which body part are exposing, where they are in school for the youngsters, or if they're going to the congregation to have fellowship
yeah,
with elders, with younger people. So all of these things are mixed up. While if you look maybe in 2 or 3 generations before us,
yeah,
I'm not saying that they were dressing perfectly, but there was a little decency in their dressing. It can also has to do something with the respect that they feel for each other,
yeah,
certain morals that was passed on from generation to generations. So when I talk about rebellion, like, they don't care about anything anymore. And that is actually what Elohim really hates. You should care about how you present yourself. when you're going out. You should care when you're speaking to an elder. You cannot
Yeah.
call the person by the first name. You just at least put some respect on the name, and
Yeah.
also like, the way you express yourself, the energy, the whole thing, like bring things in order. So that is why I see most things are really against Elohim. Yeah,
I think you
yeah.
explained that so.
And this is just one example. I can
Yeah.
mention so many examples. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of rebellion going on. We are really filled with pride. Um, we don't we don't ask why. We follow trends, and when something is being exploded or mentioned hundreds of times in the news, we are all filled up with fear, and then we move without thinking
Yeah.
critically
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. No,
this
but
is
I think you touched on something very special because indeed it happens a lot now that we see crazy things,
mm-hmm,
we then leave it behind, and then it happens again. We move it to the side, and eventually we normalize it. And I think that is how we actually got to this point
yeah.
where we can't even look back and say like, oh, this is when it started, right? Because it started with something small.
Mm-hmm,
And whilst you were speaking, I was actually thinking about this picture again
yeah.
because, like, if you look at the lower level, it might be somebody just building a city or or a building or whatnot. But as you keep growing, you keep building, it's like you want to improve on that which you have. But
Mm,
actually, what you're doing as well, which happens a lot, is you're ignoring the involvement of Elohim in these steps that you need to take,
mm-hmm,
right? You're like, I'm going to build this myself. I'm going to do that. And you keep building more and relying more and more on yourself
mm-hmm,
instead of involving Elohim in everything that we do. And I see it with like family structures, how women are now, in my opinion, are now. Uh, it's promoted that they should be thinking on their own and not having a mind that is aligned with their husbands, but like
mm-hmm.
have your own mind, have your own future, have your own. And it's like, it's so strange. And men as well being programmed to think on their own. Don't listen to your nagging wife. She's always complaining. Don't.
Yeah.
And the family structure being broken, and so many other things. So I'm really happy that you shared on this. I think this rebellion against Elohim, it will come to an end, and I think that is what we're going to talk about tomorrow, right? Like the day of Yah, when everything comes down, when Babylon has been chanted down with
Chance.
songs and with the cries of those that have gone before us, then that day, you know, I'm praying for all the listeners and all my brothers and sisters that there will no there won't be any witnesses against you that will hope for your demise,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that we will be able to say, okay, Elohim, I did my best to contribute to your kingdom, and I did my best to break down that which is evil and that which rebels against you.
Mm,
So I'm
nice.
happy that we were able to have this conversation. Has been quite a long one as well.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna wrap it up. You have something else to say?
No, no, I like your final words. And well, of course, I can also add something in short. Um, and it brings me back once again to the tower that you showcase here on the display, that we shouldn't focus on building our towers, because that is actually what we are doing. But we should
Yes.
rather invest more time in nurturing ourselves, nurturing our immediate environments, because whether you like it or not, everywhere around us is filled with toxins, toxins in you name it. So we
Yeah.
should try to
Yeah.
nurture ourselves, nurture our families, our loved ones, and not aiming for building those towers, because they will eventually fall down.
You know, fall
Yes.
down. Love it. So, people, you have heard it from Sister Steph. You haven't heard it from me, but tomorrow you'll be hearing it from the ministers. So, we're praying that you guys build your treasures, your heavenly treasures, those that cannot be taken away from you by any person on this earth, not the government, not your mommy or daddy, not your pastor, not nobody, but only Elohim who sits above. So we hope you enjoyed this show. We hope you're subscribed, and we hope to see you at the next. So be blessed. Shabbat
Yes.
Shalom, and see you tomorrow. Blessed.